guys, how's it going? Mason from Velvet Auto Detail. Today we've got a really interesting project. We have a 1998 BMW Z3. It's actually my mother's car. Unfortunately, it had to sit in storage for about, a year or so. It was exposed to the elements as our little tent situation kind of blowing up, and very long story I won't bore you with, but essentially this car's been sitting outside for far too long, absolutely totally neglected, and we have a lot of work ahead of ourselves. So first step I'm going to take care of is just blast the car down with a pressure washer, just try to knock off as much loose dirt as I possibly can. Then the next step would be I'm going to use my Amazon snow foam cannon, just get whatever's compatible with whatever pressure washer you're using. Normally what I like to use is about 100 milliliters of Autoglym snow foam, their pressure washer mix, whatever you want to call it, mixed with about 900 milliliters of water. This is a 1 liter canister. But since I'm dealing with such a heavy level of grime, what I've actually also done is I've added about maybe 20 milliliters of some Super Clean. It's a very, very strong concentrated degreaser. I really don't recommend this for a daily driver car, something that isn't as bad as this. That being said, I really have to cut down as much grime as I possibly can before going into the hand washing stage, simply to try to preserve the paint as best as I can. From that point on, I can actually have an idea of what I'm dealing with. But so the first step will be just try to knock off as much as I possibly can in a touchless method. Then after that, I'll be taking care of the wheels and tires. That situation I'll be using P&S Brake Buster. It's a really nice wheel cleaner. I recommend it for pretty much everything. So I'm absolutely amazed by how many leaves and just built up crud have just flown out of the cowl here, and there's still a ton more, so I will have to detail the engine bay to just try to remove all of this as much as I can, because I gotta work on this motor and this is an absolute nightmare right now. So unfortunately, the pressure washer absolutely did not even phase the amount of grime. It loosened it up a little, but it's still going to need a lot more loving before I can even start touching this, because, So as we can tell, the dirt's still very baked on. The water did help kind of loosen it up a little. It's actually moving at this point, but still, I'm using an electric washer, so it doesn't really have enough bite in it to really knock this off. So next up, we're gonna have to snow foam it and just hope that really loosens it up a lot more. So let's hope for the best results. So we're gonna let this foam sit and dwell a little bit. The next step is I'm gonna take a little brush and just start agitating around the nooks and crannies. to. They've all been agitated, so now next step is to blast off the snow foam. It's been sitting there for about, I don't know, 5-ish minutes, 10 minutes maybe, kind of soaking in. Hopefully it'll break down some more of the dirt and grime, make my life a little easier, and reduce the risk of marring that we're going to put into the paint. Now, regarding iron removers, I like to use Fireball Ultimate Iron Burn, the extra strength model. I've spoken to the owner a few times. He's a very down-to-earth guy, very kind. He's very honest about his products, and honestly, this stuff stinks like death, but it really does the job. So let's spray this on and see what happens. Got all of the iron remover removed. I just kept getting more and more leaves and crud coming out of all the little cracks and crevices. So now is probably a good time to finally start on the engine bay, at least blast off some of the excess dirt. All the leaves that are just baked up, it's just non-stop. On debris off, I can finally begin hand washing this thing. Honestly, that's probably a solid hour and a half of just pressure washing and snow foaming, and wow, I've got a long way to go. Alright, after finally pressure washing it, getting rid of all the baked in dirt and the nooks and crannies, everything like that, I can finally begin hand washing. I'll be using a Optimum no-rinse solution, about 1 ounce to 4 liters or per gallon, whatever you want to go by. So we'll begin the hand wash. Washing as well. So what I'll be using is a synthetic clay rag made by Carbrite, and then some Optimum no-rinse solution as a clay lubricant. So let's get started on that. fully decontaminated, washed, cleaned, ready to go. So now it can go into its paint correction. As you can see, there's actually some white shine left behind on it. I'm actually quite surprised with how it came out. I was expecting a lot worse or a lot more fighting to go. Clay barring was a bit of an issue. You know, it honestly felt like I was working with sandpaper at a point. That being said, it's finally smooth, nice and shiny, so now we can carry on.
Different arrows of drugs. It just so happened with the screw music, syrup was the drug to do.
Wait a minute. I know who you are. Yeah, but I heard you were dead.
Alright guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I apologize for the loud noise, I had to get this out of the shop. But if you ever have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me anytime and I'll happily get back to you. And I can't thank you again enough for watching. Have a good one.